What is up, everyone? So I have a very interesting video and thing that I do. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, I'll tell you how I figure out what it is that I'm going to share. Basically, I've just developed stuff that works for me, and when I'm doing those things, now that I've decided this season to start making videos to help people, whenever I realize I'm doing something, I make a video on it so other people can take advantage of what I'm doing. It's kind of the way that I learn things is like I do them, I experience them, I take notes of things, I see what works best, and then basically just develop habits. So, this is touching on a couple subjects. If you've been watching all my videos, you know the reason why I don't do videos. Um, Craft this thing, you're gonna make so much currency, and then everyone goes out and crafts it and no one makes currency, or a very small amount of people make currency. And why is that reason? I've explained this before. It's because what happens when everyone goes out and starts crafting something and floods the market? The prices go down because there's supply and demand. Using the business thinking, this makes sense. And then what happens? We experience the market leveling out. So I'm not going to do that. But we can take this a step farther. And I have a perfect example, and I have to give credit to Misho for bringing my attention to it. Because there was a craft that I wasn't aware of, making the +2 necklaces. Which basically, there's a way that you can, it's pretty simple, and I haven't done a video on it, and I'll explain to you why. But basically, it's pretty simple. You take 2 necklaces that have isolated the +1 skills. Then you take and you use the awakener's orb to destroy one item and transfer the +1 to the other item. And then both the +1s are on that item and then random stats. So this is a cool craft. Why is it that I haven't crafted one? And why haven't I done a video on it? This is the reason why. Someone else has done a video. In fact, probably a bunch of people have done the video. And what is it that they sold the video as? They're like, look at this craft. And then they're like, I'm going to sell it for this much currency. So what is it that happened to the market? It no longer became profitable. And why is it no longer profitable? Because popular people say something, a lot of people see it, they believe it, they go out and do it. And what has now happened to those amulets? They're dirt cheap. Like, people are trying to sell them cheaper than the orb to make them costs. And this is completely ignoring the cost of getting those base amulets and getting the +1 skill onto those amulets, which I'm telling you for a fact, those are extremely rare mods, and then isolating them is extremely hard. Because isolating them, if I have a 2-stat item through an alt spam, if it comes out as a 2-stat, now I have to use an annulment orb, and I have a 50-50 chance of wiping it and having to start over. The other choice was to just go out and buy one, which, do you think that people are selling those cheap? No. So, probably several exalts in just buying those, and then buying the Awakener's orb is like 2 exalts, I believe, at the current market price. So, you're talking about, oh, it's actually gone up quite a bit. The Awakeners now is over 3 exalts. So that means that this craft is probably costing people like 3 to 6 exalts for one try. How much is it that we can buy these amulets on the market for? Well, I was able to find a bunch of them for 2 exalts. Why would I craft something that costs 2 exalts? And how well did it work out for those people that thought that they were going to take and craft these easily, which is not an easy craft. Getting those isolated is not easy. Every stat has a chance to roll, and the chance for those stats is extremely low. So this was probably, for some people, a really, really expensive craft. One friend, it cost them, I believe, like 10 exalts, they were saying. It cost them. Something like that. So, an expensive craft, and because the market was flooded, what happened to all of those necklaces? They became very cheap. Were there some that people just got really lucky and got something amazing and they probably made some currency on it? Yes. But what do you think happened to the mass majority of those people? Why do you think that they're pricing those amulets at 2 exalts? Is it because they're flying off the shelves just because they have those 2 stats and everyone's making mad bank by crafting those? Hell no. They're selling them for a loss because they invested in something that now won't sell and they want to just get something back for it. So, how can we exploit this? Because this is something I do. Um, so I'm sharing this with you so you can be aware of this. When I see videos like this, if the item that is being mentioned to craft to make currency, we're all going to craft these and they're all going to magically get bought up at profit no matter how much of these we throw onto the market. Yeah, it doesn't work. But what does work is me seeing that stuff and being like, oh, I'd like one of those. And then going onto the market and skimming through the massive amount of these items that are fluxing in and buying one that I want for less than I could have crafted it for. So those videos do help someone, but it ain't the people that's taking the advice. It's people like me who go, oh, those are going to bottom out in price and there's going to be a big selection for me to choose from. So, if you see any video in the future or at any time where someone's doing something like that and you're like, oh, I'd like one of those, watch the market. You might find something really good, really cheap. That's pretty much all there is to this video. Peace.